There we go. It looks like a live feed coming in. Nice interviews over there, Duke. Thanks so much for checking in. Tough competition out there. Awesome event today here. Cowles Beach, making it happen. Surftech, the Surftech Shootout. File is fun. Everything's done now. Right now, we're looking for. All right, getting a little feedback over there right now. First portion of this event is done. We've got the surf to look forward to. Our duathlon part 1 is done. We've got the waves now coming in out at Steamer Lane. The race is in the books. Candace Appleby repeating her victory. Looks like Slater Trout came in here to check things out and took care of first place. Lots of competition. Things are not done. It's just about heating up on the beach. 12 o'clock looks like for our start for our paddle race. We still got a few stragglers coming in. But we've had an awesome time. We want to thank all of our sponsors. Sup the Mag coming in. There's some cash on the line right now. We've got Bark. We got Quick Blade. Surftech, of course, making this happen. The Surftech Shootout 2013 here at Cowles Beach. What an awesome day. The sun is out. The people are playing in the water. We got kids, boogie boards, prone paddlers making their way. Joe Bark, like to see it. All the way up on the beach right now, nice and dry. So again, we've had an awesome time here this morning. A mass start. We had a short course. We had a long course, beach runs, everything you can imagine. Surftech bringing it home. I'm Chris Hollingsworth, just hanging out here. We had Andre Niemeyer running up and down the beach, interviewing folks as they were trying to finish. Surprised he didn't get slapped, but nothing but fun. It looks like we've got some award ceremonies going to happen, and people are having some fun. So again, we want to sign off here over at the booth. We've had a great time. The Surftech Shootout 2013 stage 1 is done. We're moving on to the surf contest later this afternoon. Thanks so much. Looks like a couple more shots. It looks like some more runners going down. I don't think we've signed off just yet. So again, all the folks, all the partners coming together. Supconnect. I know we got to thank Oakley. Lots of companies, lots of family, lots of workers. And we want to give everybody a big thank you. We'll see you next year. Maybe, you know what? We're going to have a little bit more time right now. It looks like Andre's going to come back in the booth now before we sign off. Yeah. Andre, get over here. Tell me what you saw over there at the finish line. I've just been hanging out here, sitting on the couch all day, having a good time.
I know. So I've been running around like a lunatic.
That's right. That's what we like. This is what you expect out of you.
I know. No, but that was a great event. It looks like everything went well. There we go. We got a photo shoot going on. Athletes are recovering. And no, this beach run, it was not your typical beach run. It was fairly long. I think it's like half a mile.
Yeah, we got to lengthen this out. We got to build. Talking to Duke over the years, Duke's wanted to bring in a tractor and build berms and make this thing where
I know
it's pretty tough to finish. But no, it gave him a challenge. It was cool to see the leads kind of changed even on that first lap.
Yeah. No, and the scariest thing for me was to try to do an interview while these guys are running. That was not. That maybe we'll change that next year. But incredible finish. I mean, Chuck Lynn had an amazing race. He had Slater Trout with a very solid lead. During the first lap, you had Slater Trout and Matt Becker going neck and neck, shoulder to shoulder. And then we came to the last lap of the race, just coming to the beach. You got the Slater Trout and Chuck Lynn all the way from San Diego, California, and Maui taking the first and second spot. So Maui and San Diego.
Well represented up here in Northern California. I think they brought some Maui and Southern California weather with them.
That's right.
We're looking forward to this same weather coming back next year. No more hail, no more rain. We set the standard to know that it's true core Northern California, but we like the sunshine. A great showing, a great event.
Yeah, so a little recap on the men's race, 12-6 class. You had Slater Trout claiming the top spot. Right behind him was Chuck Lynn, and that was a close finish. So it came down to the beach run. Chuck Lynn had a bit of a gap as he came to the beach. He recovered it on the run, and they came pretty close as they crossed the finish
Chuck
line.
mentioned, I mean, it's kind of fun to see the waves playing a role because Chuck didn't catch the wave that Slater did, and it kind of put that last little polishing gap.
Yep.
And he's like, you know, it's too much to overtake on the run and make up that difference. So it's cool to see the paddling, the surfing. It all comes together with the beach run as well. So
yeah, and then claiming the third spot was Matt Backer, and coming fourth was Anthony Vela. So winner of last year's race, Anthony Vela. That's right.
Anthony Vela won the race last year.
Came fourth this year, and Matt Backer, who won the surf contest last year, came third. Matt Backer won the contest the year of that was hailing about 2 years ago. So Matt Backer, Anthony Vela, and this year Slater Trout. So we're going to be having the surf coming up. We're going to be doing a little bit of a post show.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we're going to be bringing some of the clips, the start of the race, some of the buoy turns, some of the beach runs, and yeah. So let's. We're going to bring a replay brought to you by Oakley of the finish. So let's check it out. So here we go. This is a Surftech Shootout. There it is. Every bump counts,
That's
right, Chris?
Every bump. Here it comes. And this is what Chuck talked about when he was getting interviewed post-race, is he said this last little bump that he missed coming in, that was the difference.
There you go. There you go. That is drafting. That is bump riding. That is like very technical sup racing for you. You got Maui, Hawaii. That's Slater Trout right there in the lead. We got a beautiful slow-mo as they come to the beach. Right behind him is Chuck Lynn from San Diego, California. Neck and neck. There is the bump that you're talking about. Slater Trout going for that beach run. Here we go. This dismount is also key, because if you have a dismount too early, you could fall into a hole and then lose, have a huge gap in front of you that you need to bridge as you go for the beach run. So here we go, super slow-mo. A little bit of riding. That's a short break, so that is tricky. It is small, but as you can see, there you go. That boom, the explosion right there. Here's where you can get hurt. Slater Trout dismounted. Chuck Lynn still paddling. Now, that's always a big dilemma. You know, do you go for more water time or more running time? And as you can see, because Slater Trout touched the ground first, he was able to increase that lead by a significant amount. So now as they come for the beach run, there is much more of a gap than there was in the water.
That's it. No, they were neck and neck in the water. And we chatted about it earlier on the broadcast. We last year at the Tahoe Naulu, I don't know if you got to see that firsthand, but Jamie Mitchell jumping off the board. Actually, he was in second place, dismounted early, and was able to run to the finish line first in front of Chase Kosterlitz. So knowing when to dismount, knowing where your strengths are.
That's right.
Knowing your surroundings. I mean, it's all skills of the water.
I mean, look at that gap. I mean, they were just like neck and neck.
They were.
The nose of Chuck Lynn's board was, right on top of Slater Trout's tail, and now Slater Trout's looking over his shoulder, and you got some yards there.
That's right. No,
and usually to try to bridge that gap in the water is much more difficult than it is on the beach. So distances, they mean quite different things, as you go into the water.
Yeah, especially when you hit that dry sand when they go up and turn around. There's not a lot of space being made up in that dry sand. They're just trudging through that, making their way to the finish line. So that was neat to see that bump really played a key role in that finish. Put that little gap between them and made a true separation first and second place. That's right.
And we'll see if we can bring back maybe the dismount of the first lap with Matt Backer and Slater Trout. So we'll try to bring that dismount of the first lap with Matt Backer and Slater Trout. We're going to be digging that in that deep, but bring that back to you. So what did you see, Chris, that was kind of like a highlight for you, or something that kind of caught your attention there?
Just watching everybody, just the mount of the board when they all took off together, just seeing how fast the top pros get on their boards, that's pretty amazing, how quick they get to their feet. It seems like they never even touch the water. They know it's those little interactions that they know how far they need to be out in the water before that skeg's going to drag on the sound. And you see that every once in a while. You see these beginners, they hop on their board a little early. The board's still in the sand. They fall face first. They're down. They're out. And it's just a tough way to start the race. So to watch these pros, these elite paddlers from all around, they come in, they hop on the board, they're immediately out. And it is true, that choke grip, that chop down choke grip, that's here to stay. That's proven. I mean, Slater Trout, he was down, I'm going to say, a foot from his grip. And I mean, his stroke return, the rate of return was so fast in the water, and he started to put a little gap right when he took off. So
no, it is work. I mean, it works. I use it all the time that I go out. I need to get that extra speed right off the bat. That's what I go for.
When
it
you're
gives you
snaking
more
waves,
leverage.
that's what I want to know. Is that
Not quite, not quite.
No,
But
that's
no,
good.
it works. Yeah, you want that extra speed right off the bat. You know, high cadence. Go there, choke on that paddle, and you'll get that speed going. So a lot of complexity here in this course. So I'm going to be pointing out to some of those. As we were talking about, the beach start is obviously very tricky because it's also a very pivotal point of the race. The person who is fastest on their feet and gets that first stroke in, they're able to get quite a gap and a lead, and also clean water ahead of them.
Yeah, that efficient stroke. When you hit that paddle, it's that nice clean paddle, non-aerated. And those are the factors you don't feel. I mean, unless you've done it, you won't know. When you're behind 15, 20 people and you're trying to dig through that water, you feel like you're going nowhere. And so it's real key to get the start. You talk about in all these other sports is the whole shot. And here, it played true. First, second, and third kind of stayed the same the whole way.
Yeah, because if you're behind, not only you got a lot of water, a lot of bump, but you also have very little space to put your blade in the water. So you're trying to be stable because you got bumps coming from everywhere, people around you. So now you're stabilizing rather than focusing on getting your power stroke and get your speed going. So you always want to be the first off the gates. And then as you go out, you have a lot of current. So right now you do have like an offshore wind as you go around the wharf, but as you come back in, you got a lot of currents. You always have very tricky currents around piers, and here is no different. You got a cove and you got a wharf, and the water with the wind just comes here and turns it around. So if you're hugging the wharf way too close, you might have serious problems with the tide maybe pushing you out. If you're too close to the cliff, you might be getting too strong of an offshore. So finding that track can make a huge difference as well. Okay, we do have the clip of the first lap with Slater Trout and Matt Backer as they come to the beach and go for that dismount. So let's take a look. There it is, the replay at the Surftech Shootout, brought to you by Oakley. So here we go. Just a beautiful line, right? There is Chuck Glenn. Right behind him is Slater Trout, and behind him is Matt Backer. So there is Chuck Glenn just going for that high cadence, stroke by stroke, looking for the bump. There is Slater Trout trying to keep that nose on the tail of Chuck Glenn's board so he can get some drafting there and stay hooked. You don't want to have that gap increase as you go for the dismount. There is beautiful drafting right there. That's what racing is all about, a little bit of bump as they come to the beach. There you go, shifting hands, and oh, look who shows up is none other than Anthony Vella shooting from behind. His Slater Trout probably didn't even see that coming. There is Anthony Vella, winner of last year's race. Look at the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
How like the dynamics that the ocean adds to the race. There's Chuck Glenn now, huge gap. He goes in for the short break. There you go, off the board, into the water, and boom. Look at it. This is a tricky situation. The board's coming, shooting right behind. The caddy is probably like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do here? So there is Chuck Glenn trying to see, you want to get your feet on the sand. You know, the ground is always faster. Now look, they're just a stroke away, but that you can really, so let's do a quick slow-mo and backtrack here. So we're going to just go back just a little. Check this out. As they step, let's go back. There we go. You're looking right in the middle of your screen, Slater Trout. On the right of your screen, you're going to look at Chuck Glenn. Look at that gap. Okay, just seconds ago, they were touching.
One
shoulder
stroke,
shoulder to shoulder. I mean, that was drafting. Nose on top of Chuck Glenn's tail, and now there you go. You want to get your feet first. Whoever gets their feet first on the sand will be able to get a gap. And the opposite happened on the final lap.
That's right, it switched. But even on that run, though, I know Slater ran down Chuck just a bit on that run, and I think he actually entered the water ahead of him. So
another thing, too, that we can notice here is how Anthony was on top of Slater as he caught that bump, but he wasn't able to catch the same wave. And now you have two different groups. You got the lead group with Chuck Glenn and the one with Slater Trout, and then you have quite a bit of a gap, and there you're looking at Anthony Vella and Matt Backer. So a lot of intricacies, very complex. That's why this is incredibly fascinating, and the instant replay really brings it to light. So here it is. Here is Chuck Glenn And for those who don't know, Chuck Lynn ran his first marathon just, I think it was last year or the year before, and he got seriously injured.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he got seriously injured, and it took a while for him to come back, but there he is running. And so thanks a lot. The Instant Replay,
that's awesome.
Bringing a lot of the race to life. This is in the Surftech Shootout Post-Show 2013. Chris, by the way, thanks a lot for helping out. I was giving the shout-outs to everybody who was helping to make it work. And for those who don't know, a lot of times you're watching your Discovery Channel, your History Channel, or your ESPN, and you have all these expectations for like high-profile webcasts, and some of them run millions of dollars, ladies and gentlemen. And so people come in and say, hey, I want this and I want that, and here we are. I got my wife sewing the covers for the gear. We got Corey and Eric just cranking on behind the scenes here. Chris Hollingsworth just being our hero, sitting in the commentator's booth for us and being the anchor commentator. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Oh, my pleasure. Absolute pleasure to be here.
And for those who don't know, Chris organizes some awesome events around the Sacramento area, right?
Oh, yeah. No, we've got a lot. We got the Battle of the Bay coming up a little later on. We got the Tahoe Nalu. A lot of things a day at the beach. Tons of events. Keeping paddleboarding going. Moving away from the coast. Moving into the mainland. Bringing this stoke, bringing this beach weather wherever we go. So look forward to those, a day at the beach in your area coming towards you, and just sharing what we know that we love, and this great time here on the beach that's family friendly. These top athletes, it's something to see what they can actually do in the water, and you can do the same thing. It's just the joy that it brings.